What's going on, movie fans? My name is Michael Weer. I love talking about movies and I love collecting movies. And I had to ask the question on Black Friday 2024, is Blu-ray hunting at a discounted price on Black Friday a thing of the past? And I will say that in the traditional sense, it is, because Best Buy, Target, these big box retail stores, they stopped selling physical media in the past year. However, if you know where to look, like I did this morning, you can find some fun deals. And so early this morning, I left the house, went to my local disc replay, and found a ton of Blu-rays to talk about with you guys today. So let's talk about the physical media movie deals that I found on Black Friday 2024.
What's going on, everybody? So I am outside of a couple of different stores for Black Friday. Now I want to start with this store down here, which is Five Below. Now I don't know what's on sale inside of Five Below, or what is on sale that could warrant this kind of a line outside of Five Below. This guy right here, he's on crutches, and yet here we are. There's a line outside of Five Below. But you know what? Good for them. Maybe things are going to be Four Below today. Good for them. Next, you have Yankee Candle. Clearly not doing any sales. They're like, nope, no Black Friday here. Next, you have Ulta, which has been open for a while, and there's been a ton of people in there. More Ulta, more Ulta, more Ulta. And then the reason I am out here, Disc Replay in Highland, Indiana. They usually do a buy one, get one deal on Black Friday, and they usually open at 5 a.m. This year, they're like, we're opening at 7 a.m. and we're doing a buy two, get two deal. It's basically the same Blu-ray deal, but I'm very excited for it because a couple weeks ago, I traded in some movies, I traded in some games, traded in some systems, and I've got a ton of store credit. So with that said, I'm outside of Disc Replay for Black Friday yet again, and this time, I will be buying even more movies. I'm very excited to show you guys what I'm able to get on discount here at Disc Replay. And unfortunately, that's the only place I have to look for brand new movies is Disc Replay, a resale shop, because almost every other store in the area has stopped selling physical media. I mean, Walmart might have something going on today, but I'm not willing to deal with those crowds inside Walmart. It's not going to happen. A few days ago, I was inside Target. They did have one little stand of Blu-rays that they had pulled out of the back and slapped a Black Friday deal on it, but they were everything I already had. There was nothing new in there. So Disc Replay is my only hope. I'm hoping for some really cool finds today. And if not a cool find, just a bunch of discounted movies. Of course, I'll have to let you know what I find when I get out of the store. I'm very excited to make this video. I've been doing these Black Friday videos for a couple of years now. I'm not as high energy as maybe I usually am because it is really early. I did go to sleep late. Had a cigar with some family members last night. It went late. It was a good time. But for the record, I am drinking Red Bull. All right, guys. Happy Black Friday. Let's get it. All right, guys, I just got out of Disc Replay and I have two giant bags of movies and I spent $4 because that's how much I had in store credit. This was a good Black Friday trip. Can't wait to unbox these, unbag these, not unbox, they're in bags. Can't wait to unbag these for you guys and show you what I picked up for Black Friday.
All right, guys, so as you saw in those videos, I got up early this morning. I went to my local Disc Replay. I picked up a couple bags of movies, and I only had to spend $4 because I had that much in-store credit. I'm excited to show you guys the physical media that I picked up today, but as my previous Black Friday videos have gone, this isn't just about what I picked up. I'd love to know what you picked up, so if you went out this morning, you braved the cold, you braved the crowds, and you picked up some physical media, whether it's a VHS, a DVD, a Blu-ray, or some 4K box sets, let me know what you picked up in the comment section down below. Or maybe you went online and you didn't brave any of the crowds and you just had stuff delivered. I'd love to know what you got on a discount for physical media on Black Friday 2024. With all that out of the way, let's talk about the movies that I picked up. The first one is Bridge of Spies. This movie stars Tom Hanks, and I've seen it once. I don't remember much about it, but I picked it up because it's Tom Hanks and he's a great actor. Next up, guys, we have Ouija Origin of Evil. This is the prequel follow-up to Ouija, and I remember watching this one time on my 24th birthday. I was feeling kind of sick, but I was like, nah, I'll be all right. I'll go to the theater. So I went to the theater with my sister and her friend, and we went and we watched Ouija Origin of Evil, and I got progressively sicker as the movie went along. So I don't remember much about this, but I have seen it once. I own the first Ouija movie, so now I have the whole collection, and there you go. Next up, we have Warm Bodies. This film I have never seen before, but I've always wanted to. I'm a big Nicholas Hoult fan, so I'm looking forward to checking out Warm Bodies. Next up, we have Bad Lieutenant, Port of New Orleans, and this, of course, would be Nicolas Cage doing Nicolas Cage crazy things. Now, I haven't seen this movie, but I'm always down to pick up Nicolas Cage films at a discounted price. Next up, we have Now You See Me 2. 2. I own the first movie, and I pretty much swore to myself I was never going to buy the second one. But when you have a buy two, get two free deal, I'll take it for free. That's fine. So I now own Now You See Me 2, and Now You See Me 3 actually comes out next year. So I'm going to have to revisit both of these. And maybe since I know the first one is so much better, I'll look at the second one in a better light, knowing that there's a third one coming. Or maybe I'll hate it just as much. You never know. Next up, guys, we have The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. I've never seen this one, but everybody I talk to says it's a very emotional film, one I want to check out in the future. Next up, we have Dirty Grandpa, and this is a really weird find for me because I had never heard of this film before. I know, I love movies. I had never heard of Dirty Grandpa before. It stars Robert De Niro as a dirty grandpa. And last night, I was with my brother, and we were having some cigars. We were talking, we were joking, and he's like, oh, remember this part in Dirty Grandpa? And I'm like, what are you talking about, Bad Grandpa with Johnny Knoxville? He's like, no, Dirty Grandpa. And I was like, never heard of it before. So he told me about it. It sounded like a fun concept. Go to Disc Replay this morning. First movie I found on the shelf. So there it is, Dirty Grandpa. I don't know how good it is, but I'm looking forward to checking it out because Neville said, check that movie out. Next up, we have Drive Angry. Remember what I said earlier about Nicolas Cage and discounted movies? There you go, Drive Angry. Next up, we have A Haunted House. This is the first of the 2 haunted house films that the Wayans brothers put together after they exited the Scary Movie franchise. I own the second one, and now I own the first one, and I have the whole collection. So A Haunted House. They're not great, but they're dumb fun. Next up, we have Knock Knock. Knock Knock stars Keanu Reeves, Ana de Armas, and Lorenza Izzo. I don't know who that is, but I know the other two very well because, well, one is John Wick and one's about to be in the John Wick universe. I've seen this movie though. It's messed up. It's an Eli Roth film. If you have not seen Knock Knock, you gotta check it out. Make sure there's no kids around. It's a really fun time though. Next up, we have The Mechanic. Jason Statham stars as The Mechanic. You would think he's just an ordinary mechanic, but as it turns out, he's a killer and he's a badass. And I remember watching this in the theater with my older brother Isaac and I think my brother Peter. We went and saw this movie together and we were like, all right, well, that was a Jason Statham movie, but I've never owned it before, so now I do. Next up, guys, we have The Outsiders, a film that stars so many famous people right as they were getting their careers going, like Tom Cruise, Emilio Estevez, Patrick Swayze, Ralph Macchio, Diane Lane, Matt Dillon, so many people. And I remember my wife's grandpa put this on at a Christmas gathering once, and we watched like the first 15 minutes. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. Well, sometime when it's not this weird family gathering, I'll finish this movie. Never saw it again, never thought of it again. Found it today. Looking forward to checking out The Outsiders. Next up, we have The Tall Man. And I thought this was like a whole trilogy of movies, but The Tall Man, I don't know if it's a remake, but it's Jessica Biel. So here you go, Tall Man, a little bit of horror for my Black Friday shopping. Next up, we have The Big Sick. This is a comedy film that came out a couple of years ago. People have said good things about it. I've always thought about buying it. They wanted like $7 for it, but because it was Black Friday, everything was discounted. I picked it up. Next up, we have Death Wish. This was the beginning of the end for MoviePass. If you watch MoviePass Movie Crash, you know that at a certain point in time, this movie came out versus a movie called, I think, Red Sparrow. I think that was the name of it. Anyway, MoviePass tried to get the production company for Death Wish to give them money, so they filtered people specifically to this movie and not Red Sparrow. That's how the story goes. Don't sue me. That's just what I've heard. So anyway, Death Wish. I also was a MoviePass member at the time, and I do remember that specifically happening, where it was like, hey, there's no Red Sparrow showings, but there's a lot of Death Wish. I guess they're not showing Red Sparrow. So that's what they did, based on what I saw. All right, next up we have The Mechanic Resurrection. Now, I've not seen this one. This is, of course, Jason Statham being a mechanic, but also being a badass killer, part 2. Now, I've not seen this one. I am looking forward to checking it out, though, because I like watching Jason Statham be a badass. Next up, guys, we have the movie Bangkok Dangerous. And Bangkok Dangerous, I only have one story from it. I went to see this in the theater with my brother, and we were supposed to meet up with our friend Jared. But Jared texted us at the last minute and said, you guys are going to have to bang your cocks dangerously without me. And I forever respect him for that. So Bangkok Dangerous, Nicolas Cage with long hair. Also, he was starting to go bald at the front. He looked really weird. Bangkok Dangerous. Next up, we have Blood Diamond, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. A Leo movie that I haven't seen, which is very rare, so now I own it, and I'll check it out soon. Next up, we have Don John, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And I think after this movie is when he was like, yeah, I'm going to take a break from acting for a while. Not sure what happened there, but I now own Don John. Next up, guys, we have True Grit, a movie I watched for the first time this year while I was in a hotel. Couldn't believe how good it was, and I was like, oh, I gotta pick that up. I need that on my shelves. Black Friday was a good time to do it, so I now own True Grit. Next up, we have Reign Over Me. Now, I owned this movie previously on DVD. I think it's an absolutely beautiful, dramatic film from Adam Sandler, Don Cheadle. It's a very good movie about a guy who loses everything after 9/11, especially his family, and it's just how his life has spiraled, and then you see him start to pick up the pieces. It's a beautiful film. If you haven't watched Reign Over Me, you absolutely should. Next up, we have Platoon, war film that I haven't seen, but it's got a bunch of people in it that I love, so I don't know why I haven't seen it, but I now own Platoon. I'll check it out soon. Next up, guys, we have Daddy's Home. Now, the first Daddy's Home is a hilarious film. I always have a good time with Daddy's Home. Daddy's Home 2 is an abysmal piece of garbage that should have been lit on fire and never, ever filmed in the first place. I don't know why they made that movie, even though it has John Cena, and in John Cena we trust. But the first one's a lot of fun, especially the way it ends. If you know, you know. Next up, guys, we have The Call. The Call stars Halle Berry, and I don't know anything else about this movie. I remember the previews for it. She's a 911 operator. She gets a call. She's trying to help solve this problem. I think there's a missing person. I don't know much about it, but a fun thriller, so I picked up The Call. All right, we got 2 movies left, then we'll get to the box set that I picked up. The first one is The Great Wall, and The Great Wall stars Matt Damon as a man protecting the Great Wall of China. And I remember in the previews there were lizards. So if there's lizards in this, maybe it'll be a fun monster film. There you go. Finally, guys, last Blu-ray to talk about before we get to the box set that I picked up, and that is Don't Think It, Don't Say It. 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 The Bye-Bye Man. Okay. So The Bye-Bye Man. Is it a good film? No. Did I need it? Just so when people come over, I can pull it off the shelf and say, don't think it, don't say it. Don't think it, don't say it. Don't think it, don't say it. The Bye-Bye Man. Absolutely. So there it is. Okay, guys. I picked up a box set. Those weren't necessarily the best films that I picked up, but I wanted them for my collection. I'm trying to fill out my collection. I've got so many shelves back here with movies. I'm trying to just get so many movies on these shelves. So I have all of those now. Next, we have the Hellraiser Quartet of Torment 4K box set of the first 4 films. These, of course, would be the best of the series. These are the most cohesive of the series. These are the ones that they actually sat down to make a Hellraiser film instead of making another film and then going, what if we added Pinhead and called it Hellraiser something? That's what they did with most of this series. But the first 4 films were shot as Hellraiser films, and one of them even goes to space. That's the one I haven't seen. So I'm excited to check these out. I am going to open it for you guys because I believe there's some goodies in here. So let's get to it. Taking the plastic off now. Here we go. Again, this does have the first 4 Hellraiser films in it. It is an Arrow Video release. This actually cost me the most of my store credit that I had. Of the $160 in store credit, this was 100 of it, but totally worth it. I owned the first 2 Hellraiser films, but good luck finding the rest of them. They're just really difficult to find at a decent price. So finding the first 4 all in this really cool box set. Now, if you look, when you take this out, you can see the different holes. I think that's so cool. You can see this guy's flesh and skin as it's going to be ripped apart. Ah, that's awesome. So there's the front, there's the back with chains, okay? And then we have a book here, all right? I didn't sign up to read. Who did this? No, we have a book here, all that torn up skin, all that torn up flesh. And then a book about the making of the movies, just a bunch of commentary on these different movies. That's pretty cool in and of itself. I actually really look forward to sitting down and reading this. So a bunch of commentary on the movies, bunch of ins and outs. I'm really, a lot of pictures. There's a Pinhead picture right there. So that's awesome. So I'm really looking forward to checking that out. My wife actually loves the book, The Hellbound Heart. I've never read that before, but she has read that book. And then she did watch the movie with me after she read that book. So big Hellraiser fan. Here we have the slip over. I'm guessing the 4Ks are all in here, but it's of course that red slip and you've got this guy on the back of it. And this is pretty cool. This is a cool reveal. I love when they do stuff like this. So you've got his mangled flesh here. Sorry about the green light. There you go. That's the best I could do right there. So you got his flesh, and then as you pull this thing off, you have just his skeleton remaining. That is cool. That is really cool. All right, on the other side, it says, I am in hell, help me, and you get a picture of that puzzle box. And then on the inside, we have such sights to show you. That's cool. And then here you go. There is the 4-disc 4K. I really appreciate that they put them on 4 separate discs for that best 4K quality that we were going to get. And there you go. One last time, putting that back on it. There it is. That's really cool. And yeah, just an absolutely incredible find for Black Friday. Worth every ounce of credit that I had at Disc Replay. The Hellraiser Quartet of Torment. I'm very excited to check these movies out in 4K. And guys, that's all the physical media that I picked up on Black Friday of 2024 at a very sweet discounted price. I love Black Friday for the physical media deals. I hope you guys too. Hope you went out and picked some stuff up. If you did, throw that in the comment section down below. Finally, guys, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button because it helps the video, it helps the channel, and it helps me right here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Alright guys, we got to the end of my Black Friday 2024 video. Absolutely love making these. I love just the idea of getting up and going out early in the morning to find discounted movies to talk about on camera with you guys. It's so much fun, and it's a tradition that I will keep going as long as physical media exists. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to check out other videos that I've made, well, I've got my previous Black Friday playlist right there. Or if you're just a movie fan and you like movie reviews, well, I've got all of my 2024 movie reviews right there.